Suffering is often viewed as a crucial aspect of spiritual growth and development. While it may seem paradoxical, the Bible provides numerous insights into why suffering is important and how it serves a divine purpose. Firstly, suffering is seen as a means of growth and maturity. In James 1:2-4, it is written, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." This passage highlights that trials and challenges are instrumental in refining our character and fortifying our faith. Moreover, suffering allows believers to participate in the sufferings of Christ, thereby deepening their relationship with Him. 1 Peter 4:13 encourages, "But rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when His glory is revealed." Through suffering, Christians can identify with Christ's own experiences, gaining a more profound understanding of His sacrifice and love. Suffering also fosters a dependence on God. The Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians 12:9-10 shares, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." This passage reveals that through our weaknesses and hardships, we learn to rely more fully on God's strength and grace. Additionally, suffering serves as a means of purification and holiness. Hebrews 12:10-11 explains, "They disciplined us for a little while as they thought best, but God disciplines us for our good, in order that we may share in His holiness. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." Suffering as a form of divine discipline leads to greater holiness and righteousness. Furthermore, suffering equips believers to empathize with and comfort others. 2 Corinthians 1:3-4 states, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God." Through the comfort we receive in our own trials, we are empowered to offer solace and support to others in their times of need. From an eternal perspective, suffering is temporary and insignificant compared to the glory that awaits believers. Romans 8:18 reminds us, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." This perspective encourages Christians to endure present hardships with the hope of future glory. Lastly, suffering tests and refines faith, making it more genuine. 1 Peter 1:6-7 says, "In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." Trials act as a refining fire, purifying faith and proving its authenticity. The crucifixion of Jesus Christ stands as the ultimate example of suffering, embodying both its purpose and redemptive power. The suffering of Christ on the cross is central to the Christian narrative, Isaiah 53:5 prophesied about Jesus, saying, "But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed." This verse highlights that Christ's suffering was not in vain. It was purposeful and redemptive, bringing healing and reconciliation between God and humanity. Through his suffering, Jesus provided a model for us to follow. In 1 Peter 2:21, it is written, "To this you were called, because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps." By enduring the ultimate suffering, Jesus showed believers how to face their own trials with patience, faith, and a spirit of sacrifice. Suffering also allows Christians to participate in the redemptive work of Christ. The Apostle Paul in Colossians 1:24 states, "Now I rejoice in what I'm suffering for you, and I fill up in my flesh what is still lacking in regard to Christ's afflictions for the sake of his body, which is the church." While Christ's sacrifice is complete and sufficient for salvation, our suffering can be united with his for the benefit of others, contributing to the church's mission and growth. Furthermore, suffering helps believers to develop Christ-like character. Romans 5:3-4 explains, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope." The trials we endure mold us into the likeness of Christ, cultivating virtues such as patience, endurance, and hope. The suffering of Christ also exemplifies the transformative power of love. John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." Jesus' willingness to endure immense suffering out of love for humanity teaches Christians about the depth and sacrificial nature of true love. It challenges believers to love others selflessly, even when it requires personal sacrifice. In addition, suffering serves as a means of spiritual purification and alignment with God's will. Hebrews 5:8 reveals, "Son though he was, he learned obedience from what he suffered." Through suffering, Jesus demonstrated perfect obedience to the Father, illustrating that true faith often involves enduring hardships in submission to God's greater plan. Christ's resurrection also provides a powerful promise and perspective on suffering. 2 Corinthians 4:17 assures, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." The resurrection of Jesus guarantees that suffering is not the end. It is a passage to eternal glory and triumph. Lastly, suffering strengthens our hope and reliance on God. 2 Corinthians 1:5 states, "For just as we share abundantly in the sufferings of Christ, so also our comfort abounds through Christ." Through the shared experience of suffering, believers are drawn closer to God, finding comfort and strength in his presence and promises. In conclusion, the significance of suffering in the Christian life is profoundly rooted in the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. His suffering provides purpose, modeling how to endure with faith and love, and demonstrating the redemptive power of trials. By embracing suffering as Christ did, believers grow in character, deepen their relationship with God, and contribute to the greater good of the church and the world. Through this shared experience, they find comfort, hope, and the assurance of eternal glory.